Are we on air yet?
We should be. Hello and welcome all the hot listeners to Words of Wisdom, the best and only local radio station in Wisdom, Kentucky.
Cheesy name.
My name is Adam Mahoney and I'm your beloved host. On today's show we have a special guest, Victor.
Hello.
It took some effort to find him, but we succeeded, and just in a moment Victor will tell us an unbelievable story. Some of you may not believe it, but he is a witness to a certain incident which happened last year in our area, but also around all of Metcalfe County. You may have not believed that, but for sure you remember it, since it is a very controversial subject. So, Victor, can you promise me to handle this gently?
Of course, boss.
Good. I was specifically talking about a certain individual who was reported across almost all of Metcalfe County for several days in a row. He allegedly tried to break into the house of many people, and even more reported being harassed, verbally shouted at night, having their windows smashed or shouted at. Real identity of the perpetrator was never released to the public, but our reports collectively agreed on his some resemblance to certain historical individual who went in history under the name of Adolf Hitler.
I saw him.
That's why you are here. So, if we have the hard part of the way, can you tell to our listeners about your experience with it? After all, I heard you had a direct encounter with him.
Yes, I did. It was a cloudy night. I was in my bed, listening to radio. You know, trying to catch some signals, if you know what I mean. So, when suddenly I heard that someone tried to open my doors from the outside. I locked them all the time, so no unwanted visitors might come in. So I freaked out, grabbed my axe and hid under the bed. I am often visited by suspicious and some may even say government individuals, and so I tried to do the same thing as with them. I tried to wait him to leave, but he did not left. After trying to open the doors, he tried to bang on them, just like all other threats. And just like our other feds, he then tried to kick down the doors. What stuck out to me was that screams were not in English. At least not in Appalachian. Maybe some Russian or French. Generally nothing threatening. I still did not spoke a single word, but after a while of silence, a brick smashed the window from the outside and landed on my carpet. After that, the man tried to open my doors from the outside, and so I grabbed the brick and threw it back at him. I did not hit anything and smashed the ceiling lamp, which made the man scream a lot. I was almost deafened by his shouts. At that point I was almost certain he was not an alphabet boy, and so I took few deep breaths and called the 911. But just like I expected, they did not want to come to my house of hearing of the shouts. They thought that plenty of people have reported it already and think it's just some kind of prank, especially since no one is able to exist in several places at once. Or at least move that fast between them. I of course started to argue with them, justifyingly calling the phone worker a bootlegger who wants to genocide the white race.
Could you skip those parts? Victor, tell better what happened later. Did you saw the man?
No, I only caught a glimpse of his shadow and muddied eyes. And he clearly did not speak English. I know it at this point. And I did not manage to get him. He ran away after I threw a Molotov cocktail at him from the inside. Although I have to say, I am sure they had helped him to escape since the alleged firefighters, or people posing as them, had focused more on the fire had started in the bushes and wooden toilet than on an aggressive assailant who smashed doors. You may not believe it, Adam, but they also advised me to go to psychiatric ward. Nonetheless, sometime later, people in police uniforms visited my house and tried to take my witness report. However, I may have made a mistake. I told them to fuck off, and so not only they did not took my report, but also I think they might have sprayed me with some chemical, because I don't have any other explanation. You know, since after the incident, although I have not changed my diet that much, I got chronic constipation. You know, Adam, I don't know what they tried to achieve with that, Hitler or not, but I have all this evidence that it was just some government psyops.
Excuse me?
You're welcome, ship. How else would you explain it? Someone appears at people's homes, makes them panic and scared, so you can more easily control them.
Yes, but then you might have not heard of that, but they caught the man, like the authorities. After those few days of panic, their friend organized a manhunt with help of the Kentucky State Police and National Guard. I think 1 or 2 days, but very quickly they had managed to track down this assailant, and he was reportedly shot and killed by one of the servicemen under the town of Celeravance. So very close to us. And also not that far from where we both live. I think it was like 10 miles from our address, actually.
I call bullshit. You believe them? You think they would have killed one of their own? They are not stupid. Adam, tell me, but honest, what is more possible? That there was an unidentified man who came from nowhere claiming to be the dictator of a communist country, or that it was just an actor on government paycheck? I am sure he did not die and not a single bullet was even fired. I am sure it was just a vile satanic psyops to sway away the public opinion from important matters. And of course, which I hope I don't have to emphasize too much, the state troopers and cops were most likely also on government paycheck. Even if they were real officers, I am sure they were on it and of course paid by the state to participate in it.
On state paycheck? Victor, but isn't it
disgusting? Yes. I am sure because just like that they would have pushed so far as to corrupt normal police workers. But then remember, the police are all government agents. Even if they don't confess to it, I advise that you shouldn't trust any of them.
Right, but I am curious. Can you tell me why you have so much distrust in authorities?
And who doesn't have one? Except of course those working undercover for it. But if I were to think, in order to entertain your followers, Adam, I think it started few years ago, which was also last experience with them, up to that incident 2 years prior. You see, someone was placing eavesdropping devices all over my house. I couldn't even use the toilet properly. I could see a little camera peeping at me from under the water, and from each and single tree surrounding my house. I of course called those bastards so they come and take away all of that. And some cops came in, but those pigs had a problem on me, even of course if they were cops in the first place. No, I see how you are looking at me. They had shown me their badges.
So who else they could have been?
They were socialist communists. Those fucking men in black tried to silence me. They denied all of those bags and all of that clear evidence I had against them. But what I think made them truly suspicious is that when I tried to ask them if they even were cops, they confirmed it. Denied my accusations. Fucking communist bastards.
Yes. Moving on. As of continuation of the subject of today's hearing, I wanted to share with you some information we had, which I managed to get from a trusted official source. This was maybe not that hard to get, but then I had to drive to a different town and wait for the workers to hand me over the copy. And of course I had to give a clear reason why. You'll see, I thought the incident occurred with many violent incidents, which is like out of maybe 1,000 calls, 5 had included physical injuries from the impersonator. There was one exception, which happened in one of our nearby towns surrounding Celeravance. You see, right before the alleged Hitler got shot down, local authorities reported 3 actual human casualties. The victims were all male, 2 unemployed and 1 owning a business, all 3 of white race and married. And what is most interesting, especially considering who was reported to have been seen, all 3 men were known to the police and to have been prominent members of back then small active and now defunct white supremacist hate group calling themselves the Volkisch Arbeit White Knights, with the Volkisch Arbeit in transition meaning work of the people. With a typo, I see.
You learn German?
Yeah, I speak some. My grandparents were German. And I'm sure that there's a missing C in the name. Never mind. So, Victor, don't you think it's strange that all people who had been harassed and even attacked by the alleged dictator of a literal racist, fascist country, only those who had been killed as I see in brutal manners, are other white haters themselves?
Yes! That's what I was speaking to all of you all the time. It's direct evidence that it was a cover-up. No way it was a real Hitler.
That's what I thought was
Real Hitler would have never raised an arm on such people. Just think for a while. I honestly never took too much interest in history during the school brainwashing, but I know that Hitler was openly against immigrants. And he would never try to attack the only people who are trying to make this country better.
What?
I heard of those whole white knights before. They were good people, good men. You don't know how many times they tried to report those fucking to the police. We may live in the better part of the country, but I still need to address how dangerous it is that so many non-whites are still in.
Victor, you thought it was a cover-up, yes?
Indeed.
So, if you claim that that was not real Hitler, then who it might have been? What the government would try to cover up?
Everything! It's all about poisoning the people.
Oh god.
Yes! All of this and many other events are all just a big setup to sway away public opinion from what the government is really trying to do. And it's all about them trying to poison us. One big false flag operation. You know how many pesticides and insecticides are sprayed, pumped, injected into our land, which was owned by our ancestors, where they were born, where we were born, which was in our hands for generations.
I think
tons of pesticides and insecticides, my naive friend. Many, of course, injected through chemtrails. But it's not hard to see all of those mysterious unidentified airplanes spraying weird chemicals directly above our crops. But you all folks have to remember, it's all just a for show too. A double false flag operation. You see, I had discovered through my research that magnitudes more chemicals are pumped right into our bodies, not through chemtrails alone, but through fluoride water. Yes, the one we drink every single day. And you may wonder, but Victor, why does it matter? Well, sheeple, you might not know. Probably not if you were brainwashed by the education system, only thankfully having been homeschooled. But fluoride is the most toxic substance to the human body. 10 times more poisonous than uranium or asbestos. Every single ingestion of it causes irreversible damage. First of all, it's going to make you infertile. Those large lethal doses of fluoride we ingest every single day lower our testosterone levels. And in fact, I'm certain, it's the leading point why we suddenly had such large upsurge in number of homosexuals in our country, all because of lower testosterone. All in order to control the population. Only the genetically best individuals will be allowed to reproduce. But you know, Adam, what is the worst effect of those chemicals? I fear to ask. Well, do you remember the time when you were a kid? Specifically, the time shortly after you were born? Up to 2 years? Well, I can bet you don't. And why? If you ever stopped and wondered why, just think for a while. They are putting chemicals into our water, which we drink, from since birth. And so we don't remember what was after birth. They make us forget our childhood years. You don't remember, I don't remember, none of you listeners remember, and it will lead to all sorts of future societal problems. Just think how easy it will be to rewrite history. Yeah, I unfortunately have to admit and agree with you. I do not remember the time after my birth, but it's just how people go. You know, I never actually got a fluoride poisonings or such because I have an allergy. You do? Yeah, I know. Honestly speaking, I have a couple of those things going around. I have allergy for fluoride from since I was a child, and I generally dislike tap water. Plus, I also did not got many vaccinations. I have like a really delicate organism, especially towards alcohol. You don't like it? No, it's a different problem. I technically can't even drink at all. It's a little bit shameful to say it out loud, but I am a little mutant. I have a different liver. I don't remember all the medical details, since it was diagnosed when I was just a couple years old. So you know, very early for mutations to kick in. Yeah, but the doctors discovered that hepatocytes in my liver, instead of producing normal HDA enzymes, which break down ethanol into sugar, instead are producing how it was called? 4-hydroxybutyrate dehydrose something, which instead breaks down alcohol into some salt. So I can't drink it because of metabolism and fact that if my body tried, it would damage itself with dangerous chemicals. Crazy stuff, man. But you know, they say that over 80% of the whole global population is some kind of a mutant, even if only few can be seen by the exterior. I heard so. You know, it made me remember my childhood too. You see, I also have a small quake on my own, which however the doctors catch on right after birth. They saw some development defects or something. Do you want to share it? Yeah, why not? It's not something many people have. I was born with both of my eyeballs being anatomically correct, except that they are upside down. Like a perfect mirroring of normal human eyes, but upside down. Crazy. Yeah, they will always tell me that it's the cause of my sighting problems. But I can function normally. It's not that bad and no one knows about it unless I tell them to. I was certainly like them, like those guys who have antlers or other weird appearance. So it hasn't affected your life that much? I don't think so. No, it apparently, also allegedly, causes me have to some differences in vision. During normal functioning in society, it doesn't cause too many problems, but when I tried to get a driver's license, it turned out I couldn't, since it caused me to perceive distance in slightly different manner. And I damaged the training car. Wow. Honestly speaking, I never got such incidents due to my liver mutation, but nonetheless it caused me to not get invited to many parties. Although most people assumed I declined drinking because I am a simple abstinent. Yeah, those days when you had time to go to the parties. You know what? It made me remember something from those years, from my teens. What is that? Okay, not exactly from my teens, but also very recently. Do you remember the satanic panic? Jesus Christ. That's right, I just remembered it. Holy fuck, how loud it was. Every major outlet, every radio station or TV channel was speaking about it. Do you remember how many wannabe exorcists popped out during that time? Just like if everyone tried to get their share on the panic. But then, I dare to ask, what happened later? Then, don't you think it's so suspicious that after so much justified hysteria, it all suddenly disappeared? Everyone suddenly stopped talking. Like, if they all secretly agreed not talk about it anymore. Victor. Adam, just think about it. It's 1990, and for so many years, no one has ever spoken about the subject ever again. Tell me, heck, do you remember even a paranormal or a conspiracy magazine or radio channel speaking about it? Jesus Christ. You see, even I completely forgot it ever happened. After so much mass hysteria, it all suddenly went silent. Yeah, it all makes sense now. Thank you, Adam. Just think about it. After all, Hitler was satanic too. And everyone knows he sold his soul to the devil Baphomet rituals, which are still carried out by the US elites. Yes, the rituals. Or else, how would you explain that he almost won the war and was able to mind control so many innocent Germans during the World War II into committing? Victor, maybe let's not talk about it. They may be listening. Yes, you're right. Okay, we shared some memories, but maybe let's return to the main subject. Victor, I invited you not only because you are a direct witness of this whole Hitler affair, but also because you are one of those, well, actually, not that few, but still, people who saw UFOs directly during that time, right? I myself received several reports from people seeing them. Yes, that's correct. I did some mysterious things in the sky, but... Is everything alright? What are you doing?